I mean, I don't think we started off too great either, but I felt once we kind of, I don't know, picked up our pace a little bit, I think we had a lot of turnovers in the first half. It was impressive we were honestly still in the game at halftime, considering I think they took 15 more shots than us. So I think that was almost a positive, considering it was, 2 points at halftime, whatever it was. We felt like we were right there and really played a crappy half. So I'm proud of us. I thought we chipped away. We were resilient, and we really executed when it mattered. I think we got down 14, and then we continued to find a way. Started off the fourth really good, and then I think they even responded and made it 7 again. So just proud of our group. I thought Temmie gave us really good minutes. I thought she's all over the place defensively. She impacts the game in ways that's probably not going to show up on here. Obviously, she's 4 for 7 tonight, and that mid-range jump shot was huge that she made late too. So just really proud of her. And then AB was incredible and made some big shots for us. So not our prettiest, but found a way to get it done.
We go Matt, then we go Christine.
Yeah, Caitlin, you play all 45 minutes. You help in the comeback right before halftime, or I guess right at halftime. You quickly go into the tunnel. You're the first one to do so. Just kind of what were your emotions like in that moment?
I thought it was a bad half. I simply thought it was a bad half. I don't know. That's all I got.
Christine.
Aliyah, great game for both of you, obviously, and just it's so exciting. I mean, the crowd is just going crazy, right? Can you describe where this team is? We haven't had a chance to talk to you in a few days. What's going right? How do you take, I think it was, you're down 16 midway through the third quarter, and you come out with a victory like this? You've been around this team last year, this year. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now we're kind of in the space where we just have to make sure that we're keeping our foot on the gas. I think we know that we're very capable of beating any single team just because of the way we play, the pace that we play at, and just the weapons that we have all around the floor. And so for us, I'm really proud of us today because we were down 15, but that didn't stop us. We came in timeouts. We talked about what we need to do. We talked about executing, making sure we're getting stops, and then being able to score. And so I think that we're in a good spot. Just continue to know that even if we're down, no matter what time of the game it is, we're very capable of coming back.
Go Lou, then we'll go Scott.
Does this feel like a playoff game? The crowd, the being as into it as they are. Well,
Absolutely.
Usually are anyway.
I think every single game when we're competing.
We've never played in a playoff game.
But
though,
I would assume, right?
Does
it feel like it?
Can you predict the future?
I mean, maybe.
I guess.
I mean, maybe we can. We can see.
I think
guess
they got.
we'll see.
I
I'll
think
come
they
back
got
to
a
you.
little more in them. Come on.
Aliyah, what did you feel in the post? It looked like you were being really decisive with what you were doing, good footwork, getting into your shot. And we've seen a lot more of that lately. Has that been something behind the scenes you've also been emphasizing?
I mean, I think it's just being able to make the right read once again, and then sometimes they double, sometimes they didn't. So just being able to be patient in the post and understand if they're coming and where that double's coming from. And if I can still take it, then we try to get to the free throw line.
Go in the back row, then we'll go to Mike on the right.
Aliyah, the shot that you made, I think you went over your right shoulder, left-handed layup to take the lead, or actually tie the game. What was the mindset on that one? What did you see? I saw it coming, and I was praying that you guys ran that play, but it happened, and it was great.
When you look at how they're playing too, you just have to be able to make the right read, and sometimes they jump out too early because they're assuming that something's going to happen, and just being able to make a move right in that split second is important because especially when you have someone like Caitlin who could be getting the ball, they're going to definitely want to jump at her, and so just being able to read that and go score.
We'll stay next to on the right. Mike, you want to start?
Yeah. Caitlin, a game like this where, like you said, you don't feel like you're playing your best, but the resilience. How much has that built up even in the last month about this team?
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest ways we've improved over the course of the year, especially since probably a little bit before the Olympic break, and then definitely here in the second half. So I'm proud of our group. It's just, teams that are in the top of our league, and obviously Atlanta's a really good team, but the Liberty, Connecticut, Minnesota, those are the type of teams that do not let you back from a 16-point lead. That just doesn't happen, and we have to find a way to, be able to respond a little earlier for ourselves. Things I think continue. We sometimes get down, and we don't always stop the bleeding right away. But I think the positive is, like I've said before, at the beginning of the season, that was really bad news for us, and 16 turned into 30 or something like that. And for now, we just find a way to chip away. And I think at the same time, we have the confidence of knowing what our offense is capable of, and we know what our offense can give. It's just really, on defense, getting stops. I think we got quite a few, we call them kills, 3 in a row there. I think especially when Temmie came into the game, she caused a lot of problems with her length. And Lexi, I mean, Lexi's given the hardest task every single night, chasing their best player. So you have to give her a lot of credit too.
Stay on the right in the third row.
Rob Hunt, CNHI. Caitlin, you mentioned the turnovers earlier and how bad it was in the first half. I kind of wanted to circle back to that a little bit. What was the kind of the message on that topic at halftime? Because you really cleaned it up. A lot of those turnovers in the first half were unforced. What was kind of the message in that first half? Only 4 after halftime.
Yeah, I thought a lot of them definitely were unforced, whether it was dribbling off a leg, backcourt violation, which was not a backcourt violation. You all saw it. I don't understand. I don't know, but that's not a backcourt violation. Yeah, I mean, and like I felt like one turnover turned into 2 turnovers, and that was the problem for us. And sometimes when it would just play right into their hands, like the ones that, weren't forced, that was all our doing. And those are the ones you really have to eliminate. If you're, trying to make a play and it's a good turnover, we still don't want it, but at least give your team a chance to get back and play defense. So I think that was the area we cleaned up. The ones in the second half didn't feel as much, they didn't score as much off of them, minus probably the one I threw cross court to Lexi that Ryan stole, but a lot better in that area in the second half.
Matt?
Yeah, Leah, coming out of the break, you've gone up against plenty of veteran forwards and you've won. So is there a conversation that you have with yourself, a message that you tell yourself coming into these matchups?
Honestly, I just tell myself to dominate. Like, that's really my mindset, no matter what, who I'm playing, just because, like, I know what I'm capable of and I know that I'm equipped. And so for me, if I go into a game thinking, oh my gosh, they have experience over me, oh my gosh, this happened last game, then I'm already down, no matter what, and that's not exactly what my team needs. And so just continue to come in every single night knowing that they're going to score and just make it hard for them. Like, I feel like Tina Charles, every single time she's played me, she's had 20 on my head, but that's okay because I come in again and I I try my hardest and we come out with the win, so it's okay.
I think that's when I called a timeout pretty quick and just encouraged them right there during that timeout we needed to change some things. This game showed a lot of growth for our players. Especially you're talking about the third quarter, they got out and then we held them to, I think, like either 4 or 5 points the last 5 minutes. And then the same in the fourth quarter, held them to 5 or 6 points in the last 5 minutes. Just got to turn it on sooner. Got to figure that out, understand what we were doing and not doing. And I challenged him at halftime because we weren't doing what we were. Paul had this scout, and he had a great game plan, and we just weren't executing. We were going under screens we weren't supposed to go under, and then we changed all that. And so it was just a lot of growth by us tonight.
We'll go down the line, Matt, then Christine.
Yeah, Christy, from your vantage point, I guess, was there any specific examples from your team that kind of showed you that they were able to handle that emotional stability you talked about compared to Friday?
Yeah, I think you saw a different team out there. I think there were a lot of moments where they could have, got really angry, let little things bother them, some calls, no calls. But I think they did a much better job of just, handling their emotions, not letting it getting too upset over things that, just next play mentality. That's what they had. They had next play mentality, get on to the next once we got going. That wasn't early.
We go Christine, then Lou.
Do you know why they didn't get going? In other words, we watched Caitlin, and you asked about it, leave at halftime. I mean, she was disgusted, right? And she charged right in there, and I figured, some coaches over the years in football and other sports, thrown tables and upset water, coolers and things like that. But then they came out, and of course, Atlanta scored, I think it was another 9-10 points.
Yeah.
Do you know why that was happening?
I do not know. I think we just needed to come out with a little bit more sense of urgency. Put ourselves in a position where we're not playing catch up from behind, and just learn to come out. Starts on the defensive end, and I can't say that enough. And that is where, offensively, we scored 100 points, I think, in 4 quarters. I don't know exactly, but defensively, you can't just give people confidence, and you can't let them take shots that they like to take. And that's just where we have to keep getting that 1% better, looking at this one, seeing in those moments where we just didn't get that piece done. But it starts on the defensive end for us.
Go Lou, then we'll go Scott.
That was actually the topic I was going to bring out. Before the game today, you were talking about defense being so important, and the crowd is actually chanting it.
Yeah.
I mean, is that going through your head at the same time?
Yeah, no, I
Is
loved
what
it.
they were doing.
Yeah, no, when the crowd started chanting defense, that was maybe we get them to do that like to start the game or something. I don't know, because that got me pumped up, and it showed that we started doing what we were supposed to do. You got to pressure the ball. You got to talk. You're not playing defense. I know it's a cliche quote, but if you're not talking, you're not playing defense. We get really silent when we're not doing what we're supposed to do and people are scoring. But found a way to get it done on that end.
Go Scott, then we'll go Kelsey on the left.
Aliyah talked about her message to herself as kind of dominate out there, and it's, especially in the second half, seemed like she was authoritative, decisive in her movements. Beyond even this game, what have you seen from her in the last week? Taking charge, being more authoritative with it in the post when you guys have needed it?
Yeah, she had a couple buckets that were huge. She had the repost that Lexi, she kicked out to Lexi, she reposted and Lexi hit her. She just, late in that game when we needed to slow down and just run some good offense and put them in a position where they would either foul us or we would get a bucket. And, Caitlin came down, we ran some good offense, we got the ball inside to Aliyah, and she executed what we needed her to. I mean, what did she end up with? 30 and
13.
30 and 13. I mean, double by her. It starts there. I say it all the time. It starts there, and that just opens up everybody else.
Go Kelsey on the left, then we'll go Rob on the right.
Lexi, obviously a strong defender, but she picked up some early fouls again today. Obviously, it presents a different challenge with her in the starting lineup. Have you had any conversations with her about maybe just some adjustments she needs to make defensively, especially because she's also a player who you rely on late in the game now?
Yeah, we talked about that, just discipline, just being a little bit more disciplined. She tends to get overly aggressive at times when I just, sometimes she's reaching down for a steal when it might be there, but keep your hands high, make them take a tough two. And just, that happened the other night as well. I mean, she picked up those early fouls. So, yeah, just need her on the floor. Her and Kelsey both are doing great jobs guarding, the best offensive player for the opposing team. Both of them did a great job tonight at different times.
We'll go Rob, then we'll finish up on Zoom with one.
Rob Hunt, CNHI. One of the things I asked Caitlin about when she was in here was the message at halftime concerning the turnovers. There were 13 in the first half, and she agreed that most of them were unforced errors.
Yeah.
Really clean that up in the second half. What was kind of the message to the players at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I think they totaled 26 more shots than us anyway, even taking care of the ball in the second half. I mean, honestly, I really, you don't usually get a win like this with that many turnovers, and it's just that important. We just keep telling them, you just got to play good defense, but got to take care of the ball because we're going to be able to put the ball in the hole. I mean, that is what we're capable of doing, but you can't just keep taking those opportunities away by, making turnovers that are not forced, like on us, got to clean that up.
Last one on Zoom. George, go ahead.
Coach, it's very special to see where the team is now compared to the start of the season. As the coach, how do you balance appreciating the journey but also being locked in on what's ahead with the playoff push?
Yeah, that was one of my messages during one of our fun timeouts was just, we're not satisfied. Like, there's nothing that we've done yet. I mean, yeah, that was our goal, was to make it to the playoffs. But now, like, what they've shown that they can do, like, we're not ready to just make that, where it lands, But we can't just play the way we did against Minnesota at times, the way we played against Atlanta at times tonight, to keep improving so we're ready when that playoff push happens, when we get into the playoffs. Because we're going to play one of the top teams in the league again. And they have the experience. We've got to build that now. And we can't, just be satisfied. And I don't think they are. We've just got to find a way to get stops early and get ourselves going early on the defensive end.